everyone, and welcome back. My name is Maria Mirabella, and I am a Romanian knitter living and knitting in Norway. And in today's very short episode, I want to show you my Billie cardigan. Yes, I finished, and I'm so happy. And I will talk about briefly what I have done with this cardigan. So first, this is a pattern by Sari Nordlund, and it's a top-down raglan with this very beautiful little cable, and the increases are happening on each side of this cable. And the original pattern offer instructions for a 1x1 ribbing neckline. Actually, you need to start with this at the beginning, of course, and the hem and the bottom bands both are also made in 1x1 ribbing, the same as the cuff. But as you can see, mine has double knitting all over these details. That's a modification I knew I will make it the moment I've started. So I actually omitted the 1x1 ribbing neckline at the beginning. So I cast on the number of stitches the pattern said for my size. I have a fly. What's going on? Anyway, and I begin to work right with the raglan increases, and I didn't modify nothing in the raglan. I follow exactly the instructions, the number of stitches, and also the length of the raglan yoke. And by the time I was working on the body, I knew I don't want to make it that long. This is actually unraveled. If you remember from my last episode, I was showing you that I had to unravel, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like here. Because this part of the honeycomb cable and this part was both of them had mistakes, and I thought they were too visible. And now that I am looking here, it's something that does not match. Oh my lord. See? Anyway, let's pretend that thing is not there. It surprised me how many mistakes I've done with this pattern, although it's not a difficult one, but I guess just me having so many cable projects on my needles. Yeah, this was the result, but we will ignore that thing there. Anyway, so I've made the body shorter, and as I've said, I had to unravel and I have to redone all this part. And I've did it. For the hem, I've decided that for me, it will work 1x1, not 1x1, a double knitted hem. And this is how it looks. And this is on the back side. Now, the first time I did this hem, I was increasing in every stitch. The second time I did it, I increased in only on every second stitch. I had like at least 100 more stitches than it was supposed to have when doing 1x1 ribbing. And I like more like this because now my hem is not wider than the rest of the body of the cardigan, which I really like. I have notes in my Ravelry. I will link it below in case you want to check. And the other modification was the bottom band. Of course, I've made them in double knitting again, because this is the best method, in my opinion, to this bottom bands and the hem to not lose the shape with wearing, to not stretch. And this is a very important thing for me, because I am wearing only hand knitted sweaters and cardigans, which means that every day I'm wearing something handmade. So a lot of wear means that the garment, yeah, can lose much faster the shape. And I'm very happy. I have 6 buttons. Now, before I've done the hem, I've done the neckline. Now, I think I could have done a better job with the neckline. I don't like this part here. I think here, exactly here and here, I should have picked up not one stitch out of not row, one of one. Here I should have skipped at least maybe 3-4 stitches, and this will have been a little bit more closed and more rounded. But yeah, I thought about it, and maybe in the future I will do a night cord to close a little bit more. It's not wide, it's just not what I thought. Yeah. So first I've made the neckline, as you can see, and here I picked up stitches for the bottom band. Now, I explained this on my Ravelry. If I remember correctly, for the neckline, I picked up the number of stitches that I had when I cast on, and on the next row, I increased on every third stitch, and I had around 200 stitches that I've worked in double knitting, and then as you can see, I binded off here. Now, if I remember correctly, here I binded off like 2 stitches at once, but here for the hem I tried the same, but it didn't work. So I had to bind off 2 at once, and then 3 at once, and then repeat. So first 2 and then 3, and this way I got this very clean, beautiful edge without making this waving somehow. So yeah, I think these are some very nice details that overall is making this little cardigan looking very, I don't know, it's looking good. And for the sleeves, of course, I've done the small cuff, like maybe not even 3 centimeters, or let's say 3 centimeters in double knitting, but this has a cubular bind off. It's the method for which I've done a little video tutorial here on my channel that you can see. I try to not pull the sleeves in length when washing this and leave it to dry, or because I did not want the sleeves longer than they are now. I love the fit of this cardigan. I really do. I'm so happy that in the end it turned out what it was supposed to be, and because I had to unravel a little bit more than half of the body, I decided to add this extra length, and this way I made sure that I could wear this with skirts also, because with dresses I have no problem with a little bit even more cropped, but that means I cannot wear if it is too cropped with skirts also. This has like 27 centimeters from the underarm total length. Yeah, I'm so happy for this project. It is a beautiful pattern. It's just that type of pattern that needs time and patience. And if you are not 100% convinced of all these details, like neckline and bottom bands and hem and cuffs, you need to just be prepared to modify them. I really encourage you, because in the end it's indeed the process of knitting. It is absolutely important, but since I'm spending so much time doing this, maybe weeks and weeks, and then even it can happen to unravel, as I did, and it happened also with the sleeves for me. I think it deserves to take the time and to make these modifications. So in the end, you have such a wonderful garment that it will be an absolutely joy to wear, and yeah, to look very good on you. So yeah, I am so happy with my Billie cardigan. Now, I've said that, I don't know, for some reason I don't see myself repeating this pattern, but never say no. Who knows, maybe in the future some color that will bring me memory with this cardigan, and yeah, I will say that, you know what, I want to make this again. But indeed, it is a very good pattern. It is very well written. As always, I don't find hard the patterns from Sari Nordlund. She's a very talented designer, and I am so sure that this won't be my last project from her. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions, just leave a comment. If not, I will see you next time when I will have another finished project for you. Happy knitting. Bye bye.